computer. All right. Hey, Jennifer Zucker, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me just fix my phone here a little bit.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, my friend.
How long have we known each other?
You know, so seriously, when I was getting ready, I was like, that was the first question that I thought. I was like, God, how long have Victoria and I known each other? So we moved to Colorado in 2000. So it's been 20 years.
Oh my gosh, where
So I was
does time go?
28 when we met.
Okay, yes, and I was much younger too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So Jen, thank you so much for doing this for the Bravo video series. I know my clients are going to totally appreciate your knowledge and what we're just going to share with each other today, and the demo that we're going to basically partake in at the end of this interview. So let me ask you a question. How long you are a Black status presenter, an executive Black status or exclusive, is that right?
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
you know, you could call it double diamond Pikachu, blah, 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 blah. I'm a top leader in a company, yes.
So how long have you been with Unique now?
It's been 6 years. So it's over 6 years. In March, it was 6 years.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
So tell me what drove you, or what basically really got you excited about getting into the beauty industry?
You know, I was always a lover of makeup. So I actually went to college for theater arts. So I was a total theater geek, right? And at the time when I was going to college, they basically said you need to have a technician part, a background part. And so I had always loved makeup. So I'm a child of the 80s. So I had some wild blue shadows and pinks and, total glam stuff. So I loved it. And so when I went for theater arts, it was like the natural place I progressed, or the natural thing that I went to, that I loved it because it was art.
Yeah.
To me, it was a way of painting on the face. It was just a way to be creative, was makeup. So I loved doing makeup for television and film and learning all of those things. So that's really where I got excited about it. And then when you talk about skincare and the beauty industry, my mom had me I was using product at 13. So like my mom was like, no, you got to wash your face. You got to take care of your skin. So at 13 years old, my mom had bottles in my hand, they were in my shower, even just a wash and a toner at the time, and of course this is in the 80s, and I was a teenager. So at the time I did not need moisturizer. We all thought, you know what I mean? Because I had very oily skin, but I was taking off my makeup every day, like always in the beauty industry.
So you were way a step ahead of most people.
I really was.
Yeah.
And, even though I grew up at the beach, in my younger years, so we were still outside getting, I was told that to get outside and get some color on my face. So there was no sunscreen, you know. But at the same time, so between it was just kind of a natural thing that that evolved into loving makeup and skincare forever. So it was just it was a natural thing. And then of course being a theater arts major, it doesn't necessarily pay the bills. So I got into sales. And so eventually all of it married together. And so that's how I ended up here. So
that now with Unique, what has kind of been their main goal as far as formulation with product? As far as, even the makeup, the skincare, I mean, do they have a philosophy there?
Yeah, the philosophy is nature and science working together. So it's taking the best of nature and the best of science and then marrying it together. And so we are EU compliant. We don't test on animals. We don't do any of those things. I mean, so we're European grade. We're not American. You know, sadly, American grade is not
Oh,
fantastic.
no,
You
no,
know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah,
So
totally. I mean, I let my clients know. I mean, that's really what my whole direction in my clinic has been, is that all my equipment is all from Europe. I mean, they have banned over 1,500 ingredients in Europe and only 11 in the United States. So that tells you something right there.
yeah.
Pretty much tells you that the United States really doesn't care.
Yeah, and that's sad, you know, and so I'm very proud to say that we're European grade, you know what I mean, and that we do that. And so those are the things that now a lot of the products, some of them are made in the States, some of them are made in the Europe, you know what I mean, but they are at that grade level. So that's something that's super important to me, because yeah, I mean, I don't want junky stuff, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you not agree that's really where clients are more and more becoming savvy, and they are really into their health, their fitness, their wellness. So
Totally.
they are becoming savvy on reading ingredients as well too. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. I really
Yeah.
do. And the mission of the company, the mission of Unique is basically um, to uplift, empower, and validate women and help them financially, you know, I mean, learn how to be financially stable and stuff. But the main thing is the Unique Foundation. And the Unique Foundation, what Unique does is it funds the Unique Foundation, and the Unique Foundation is they have a haven, a retreat center for women that were sexually abused before the age of 18. So they go to this free retreat. They just simply go to theuniquefoundation.org, and you can go there, fill out the application, and you get to go to this free retreat where they teach you about your brain and trauma and what it does. And so like all of my clients, they can roll up to the dollar if they want to for the Unique Foundation. It's also 10% of all the profits of all the products go to the Unique Foundation. So it is a mission first company, and that is
That's
the
awesome.
absolute mission of and so that brings me joy to know that it's more than makeup. It's more than mascara. You know, I'm every time I put Unique on, I know that it's making a difference in somebody's life.
And women like to support other women when they know that there is a mission behind what they're doing. Don't you agree on
Absolutely.
that? Yeah.
Yep.
So we're kind of on different times right now.
It's a little different.
Yeah. And
I have not had my hair cut
yeah.
in more
Oh
than
my
eight,
gosh. I
eight
hear you,
weeks.
Jen. I
I
totally
have
hear
no
you.
nails. I mean,
Yeah.
so this is different.
Unprecedented times, which makes people really look at life really differently. And when I say life, I'm talking about, I mean, women in their hair, their nails, their skin, their makeup, everything. Everything is now, there's like a microscope going under it. You're really making the decision of what is important to you. Um, you know, how do I feel about myself? Because we've been home, we've been quarantined for some of us. And I mean, you saying about your hair, I mean, my gray must have been an inch and a half. I was trying to decide, do I want to go gray?
I know.
And I pretty much came to the conclusion I'm not ready yet.
It's okay. I'm not ready to, but I mean, you know that I had some health issues and I'm having surgery on Tuesday. So I have to have a COVID test this before my surgery. And so I was like, okay, getting my hair done and my nails done is not worth it. I was like, I want this surgery to happen so that we can get done with all the other things. So I'm like, all right, we're just gonna handle it for another 4 weeks.
Exactly. And I think too, you know, people are Zooming more, they're having conferences more. And so, you know, we need to look, of course, we always need to look good for sure, but we need to look good from the waist up. And, you know, some of us are in the pajamas down below and slippers. I got my slippers on now.
Yeah.
So I think what is really becoming apparent is when you're doing a Zoom or you're doing live, you see yourself. You're yes, you might be talking to others, but if you're doing a live and those are going to join in on Facebook, you are seeing yourself. And I think people are really being self-aware of themselves.
Yeah.
And so during this period of time, I know, especially, you know, Jen, you lived in Colorado, they are very much of the mindset of, what can I do that is a natural look? So my question to you is, what do you think your clients that want a natural look are looking for as far as product for makeup?
Well, if number one, if you are home and you are on Zoom, let's just say you're on Zoom or you're going out, you know what I mean, and you want something really easy that's not going to get on your mask, or if you're on, it really depends. Usually I really like, for me, and the older I am, the more less coverage I want with my foundation, you know what I mean? So that's just me, but there are some women that definitely want more coverage, but a light coverage of foundation that's not going to come off, you know, that's going to stay, but is easily to remove at the end of the day.
Yes.
Most of the women want their eyes to be a little brighter, you know what I mean? And so that there are dark circles. And I came fresh faced today. So I was like, so that they don't have dark circles under their eyes. What's really interesting is, and I'll show too, is like my brows are not done. So brows make a huge difference on camera, you know what I mean, as well as out. They basically frame your face. So what I'm finding is, and here's the other thing about being older. So your brows get thinner, right?
Yes.
Your lashes get thinner. So those start, that goes away. This starts to grow, right? You know what I mean? So it's like they leave from here and they go here.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing is I never needed blush. Like up until the last couple years, like I never understood why people wanted blush. I really didn't, because I never needed it. But now I can totally tell that I need it, because I've lost some of the rosiness in my cheeks.
Some of the color as we mature.
Yeah. So that is, so as I age, I'm like, okay, brows, lashes, you know what I mean? Cheeks, and some color on my lips. You know, so, but with a light, nice foundation, that's not going to go anywhere, you know, so.
Which is great, you know, on this whole part here that we're kind of talking about, Jen, especially because you just brought up the whole thing of the mask, the mask wearing right now. So, you know, the eyes, as is said, is the window of the soul, as well as our eyes are going to be what gives us expression right now, because people can't see your mouth. So I totally agree with you on the brows and the eyes. And then obviously under the mask is going to be, you know, if they decide they want to wear a little bit of color, something that's not going to come off and be on the inside of the mask. So I know clients are going to be going, what can I wear that's not too drying to my lips, that gives me a little bit of color that's not going to rub off?
Right.
Are you finding that too?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. They do. They want something that's not, because even I knew I was going out and I was going somewhere and I was like, why am I going to put lips on? I was like, I'm just going to have to put a mask on. So what I found myself doing literally was wearing like a clear lip gloss.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? And it was like, I'm like, okay. I was like, so we're going with the nude, you know, it has a little bit of a color, you know what I mean? And it has a lip plumper in it, the one that I like. So it has like that peppermint lip plumper thing in it. So,
yes.
And, which I love. But at the same time, it's like, if I'm just going to put this mask on, then I just want a hue, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bright red. You know, even though red, in my opinion, red and brighter pinks are better for women that are older, you know what I mean? Because the brown brings you down, and the older you get. So it's like that light, that brightness is good. So
very clear, very bright in color and all of that. I totally agree with that. So let's actually do that. Let's just kind of jump right in.
Okay.
And you just share with everybody, you know, what products you're using to just give that nice natural look, and you know, a little bit of tidbit about each of the products that you're using, so that my clients, you know, that are now just really saying, okay, I want that natural look, I don't want to spend a ton of time, you know, time is going to look different for people right now. If we got kids staying home, right? Before you would maybe be heading out to work and your kids would be heading to, it seems like things are going to be definitely changing.
Yeah.
So time could look a little bit different as well for people.
Well, the other thing too is when I am describing all the things, know that because I'm talking it through, it's going to take longer than it would normally. You know what I mean? So like what would take me 5-10 minutes to do might take me a little bit longer because I'm talking it through, you know?
Absolutely. So, all right. So let's go for it, Jen.
All right.
I'm excited.
So for me, like one of the first things to start off, especially as I age, is this is a mattifying primer. So what it's going to do, it's like when you prime the paint for a wall, it's basically spackle for your face. Okay. It has snow mushroom extract in it. So it's actually really fantastic for yourself. So I just put a little bit on and it's going to fill in all the lines and wrinkles, all the things so that when I put my foundation on, it's going to be much smoother and it's actually going to look good. So generally you let it sit for a minute so that it goes in and it's like solidifies itself, you know what I mean? But it's actually what's really great about the mattifying primer is that it's going in and it's doing some magic at the same time. So
okay, awesome.
This is a BB cream. So what I was talking about, you can go with full face coverage if you want to, but for me, I prefer like a lighter, dewier look.
Okay.
Sometimes with heavier ones, it can get into your lines and your wrinkles. To me, this is almost a sheer looking, kind of like a moisturizer with a tint, but a little bit thicker than that. I put it on the back of my hand just because I like it to warm up to my body temperature. So
okay,
that
awesome.
It's easier to spread.
Yeah.
And I just use a brush and I just apply it all over and you dab it on. You don't necessarily paint. You don't want to like do it like this.
Yes.
Because that leaves streaks. But so if you stipple it on, I have this new fabulous mirror and I have the one, it's the first time I've used it. So I have the magnifier on it and I don't need it. So you go all the way up to your hairline. And
now does that have, Jen, does that have an SPF in it?
It has a natural SPF in it. It doesn't have one that I can say, yes, it has an SPF in it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
The ingredients that are in it has a little bit of it, but I can't.
It's going to give you a little bit of some protection.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do use an SPF moisturizer, you know what I mean? Anyway, so.
Okay.
Then I like a blending bud to stipple it on instead of that painted look for me, especially as I age, you know, I like to pop it on. I like to stipple it and just blend it in. And of course you go all the way to your hairline.
It makes it look soft.
One of the things people forget is this.
Yeah, it's the upper part of their nose. I know. It's really an important
Actually,
part.
have you found that too? Like people with that when they're doing their regular skin care routine, they forget this part. I'm like, no, this is part.
And they also forget to get all the way to their hairline for their face, washing their face as well too.
And because I have short hair, I go literally behind my ears. You know what I mean? In my back of my neck.
Yeah, with me, short hair, the same thing. But people forget. And then they wonder why, you know, a lot of sun damage is along the jawline.
Right? Okay. So that's basically like a very sheer, and you can see that it looks flat, but at the same time, it's like it's created an even skin tone.
Nice.
All right. So here's a tip that I have recently learned like over time, because one of the things that we were taught for a very long time was when we do concealer, you do it under your eyes like these little circles, right? And actually you don't want to do that. You want to do more of a warrior paint triangle shape. But as you age, you actually don't even want to go over here to where your fine lines are. You just want to, and you can use a concealer. This is a foundation stick, and you use 2 shades lighter for your regular colors. So you go 2 shades lighter for highlight and you go 2 shades darker for contouring if you want to. So if you really want to get fancy, you could do contouring and you could brighten up your cheeks, all that kind of stuff. But we're just going to make it really easy. And I just take the same blending bud and I'm just going in and patting it in and doing that. Because what it's doing is you're never going to make like your dark circles go away, right? It's because the oxygen is gone, all that stuff, right? But you can distract. It's kind of like when you're dressing right for your
we do a lot
type.
of that. We do a lot of distraction.
You're like, look over here. Look. You're like, so what that does is that causes you to move your eye and look to the other location. So that's what we're doing there. Okay. Then, and you might be like, that's a lot for foundation, but you know what? We don't like our foundation to go anywhere, especially like I said, with the masks. So I always end with either a setting powder or a setting spray.
Okay.
It's going to blur your lines, blur everything. And it's like, so that it's not on your mask. So you can either use a powder, you know, or.
So Jen, is your spray the rose water or?
No, it's a setting spray.
Okay, nice.
And it's just it dries and sets it.
Okay, very nice.
So then that way it's in there. I use rose water as like part of my toner. So we just let that dry and it totally sets the foundation so it's not going to go anywhere.
Very nice.
And then so you're not going to have that line, you're not going to have those things. So like I have lots of nurses in my organization and other gals that are with me, and they're like, look, this was on for 12 hours, you know what I mean? And they have like nothing. So
awesome.
All right. So then like we were talking about our blush, right? I just like using a nice pink, you know what I mean? To give me a little bit of rose, and depending on how your cheeks are, you know what I mean? And how your bone structure is. And of course we can go over that, you know, if you have this kind of bone structure, you want to do more like this, if you have this, but for me, I generally go on the apples of my cheeks and I blend it up a little bit just for that rosy, like you can even tell, like it's like it roses it up, it pops it up a little bit. Same kind of thing. I just do this like this.
Just give you some color, right?
Just a little bit. I'm not looking for stripes. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking for a little bit of like, hey, you look fresh. You look like you're healthy.
And it gives you a lift. It gives you a nice lift.
Then I like, you can do a highlight if you want to. You don't have to do a highlight, but I like a little bit of highlight and I just blend it in.
Yeah.
Just so that it gives you pop again. And so it lifts your face up. And that's that. So let's go to, what did I do with it? I thought I grabbed it, but I didn't. Now let's go to our brows, because our brows are like, people, they stress about their brows a little bit. You can either use a pencil, but I'm going to go a little more like, you see all the brows that people are doing. So I'm just going to show you a little bit like, how do they do that? So basically I have a brow palette. Okay. I love this brow palette. It's got like a wax in it. It has like this is a medium, because I use a medium, and then I have dark and a blonde. Nice. But like a lighter, a darker, and some highlights to help build that look. So what I do is I take the wax, and like I said, as we age, we're losing our hairs, right? So I'm going behind the hairs and I'm creating a space so that it sticks to where the hairs aren't. So when you're drawing hairs with pencils, basically what you want it to do is you're drawing them and you're doing the shadow behind them all. You're not like wanting to paint brows on. What you're doing is you're like showing where the shadows go. Nice. So I just fill those in.
And what's nice about that, Jen, I mean, here we are talking about as we mature, our hair in our brows, not only are we losing some, but it's also changing. It has a tendency to get a little bit more wirier.
Yes.
You know, and that wax is going to be nice because it's really going to help lay those down.
Yep.
So you don't feel like they're like waving.
They're like, they lay down a little, they lay down. It's like gel, you know what I mean? And they just, They kind of just stay there and a little
Yeah.
nicer.
Yeah, that's nice.
So what I'm using is, so what I did was, this is called a spoolie, for those of you
Okay.
that don't know. It's the little round thing. And then this is like a brush that I put the wax on with. But then I have an artist brush that has a very skinny, flat part. And then I have an angled, flat, skinny brush.
Yes.
So I'm going to take the darkest part. Okay. And so then I am going to draw down here. I'm going to basically kind of like outline. If you ever did, like coloring when you were a kid, like it's almost like you took and decided that you wanted to do the outline of the whole brow first. And I do the top and I go all the way to the arch. So like the rule of thumb, you know, is when you do your brows, you want to line it up with your nostril up to your eye. That's how close you want them in. Then you line it up with your pupil to where your arch should be, and then to the corner of your eye to where the tail should be.
Nice.
That's how you do it. But what I do is, because I know where that is on my eyeball all the time, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I fill it in darkest at the arch.
Okay.
And then I bring the tail down a little bit and it just gets skinnier. Okay?
Yep, nice.
But then you can see that there is like that gap in between, in that where there's those spaces. So I'm not adding more product. It's on there, but then I'm going to go behind and I'm just going to draw in little hairs like this. Just like that. But then you're like, okay, there's that part that's missing. Then you take your medium color and you start off in the center, and then you're going to do feather and fade out towards the center. So it gives it that ombre, that
nice.
like lighter look.
Yep.
Because some people are like, I want to know how to do that, but how do I do that? Because they're like, I just color it in. And it just has to do with like, you want to start this way and go that way with the color. And just fill it in a little bit and go behind.
Very nice.
You can see it already, like comparatively.
Oh my gosh, it just brightens everything. And again, it's another way to lift.
Right. And if you think about it with the masks, you know what I mean? Then it's your eyes are going to be what are looked at the most.
Exactly. It's going to be, that's where they're going to look for expression.
Exactly. Because they can't see you smiling unless you're smiling with your eyes, right?
Exactly.
That's one of the things that I'm out and about, and I'm like, smile with your eyes, Jen, smile with your eyes. Hi. So I'm just doing the other eye. And like I said, people are like, when they've seen me do it before, they're like, you did that so fast. I'm like, it just takes practice. You know what I mean? And you can be out of there. And like, you want to just do short strokes.
And like you said, Jen,
like
it's taking a little longer today because we're doing a demo and you're talking it through. But when they're at home, it's like anything. Right. When I say anything in life, when you're forming a good habit, you know, it takes a while, and then before you know it, it's just second nature, and you're just knocking it out, and it's no big deal.
So what's really funny is, so my daughter's learning how to cook right now. So my daughter's 16 years old. And so she doesn't want to know how to cook. She's been fighting it forever. And I'm like, okay, we have to do something. So we started getting HelloFresh boxes.
Oh, nice.
Having them delivered, and they come with all the things. And so the boxes say that they only take 30 minutes to make, but it takes her an hour.
So it's okay.
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, she's cooking, and that's all I care about. But like, what would take me 30 minutes to cook a meal takes her an hour. And it's just the same as the brows, the same as anything else. When you get in a new routine, it just takes longer, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So what I'm going to show you really fast is, this is a liquid shadow. So I love this one because it's matte and it goes on pretty much anybody.
Awesome.
It's a great brown plum kind of color, and it's buildable. So that means you can put on as much as you want, little bit, a lot. If you wanted to just put it in the corner and blend it out, you could. If you want it, depending on the shape of your eyes, like what is, you know, I mean, if you have deep set eyes, or if you have hooded eyes, or, you know, there's different ways and techniques. So, but what I do is I just pop it right here in the center, just like this.
Okay.
And then I take a cream shadow brush, and all I do, like, this is my 5-minute like makeover, like out the door. I got stuff on my chin. And I just blend it, and then I just pat it and blend it out, and that's it.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's nice that it's matte.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't necessarily want anybody like necessarily having shadow, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, when you're putting shimmery stuff on, the older you get, then the more lines and wrinkles that you see. And
yeah, I have to be real careful of that because it really accentuates the lines.
If you have creepy eyes, then it happens.
You have to be real careful.
Then it's fine.
Yeah.
But that's all I do. And then if I want to, I can go under my eyes, but I don't have to. And if I ever feel like I have too much on, I just take my blending bud, you know what I mean, and erase it a bit.
Yeah, nice.
Like, and it just adds a little bit of pop, a little bit of color, super, super easy. And then where did it go? Oh, here it is. The thing that Unique is famous for is our mascara. So
okay, so the one you've got with you right now. So just tell me on that, Jen. You have how many different kinds?
So we have Epic, and we have Epic 4D. So this has interlocking fibers in it that basically Y-shaped fibers that gives you length and gives you width, and basically when you're using this and a lash primer or just this, even, it's drama. Like, this is high drama mascara.
Okay.
And we also have regular Epics. So we have brown, we have black, and we have black waterproof. So we have all those things. We also have a lash primer, and we're actually sold out of it right now. So I mean, which is really kind of like, oh no. But
so you put the primer on first, then you would put the mascara on, and the one that is that you said is the Y, that's going to give you not just length, but it's also going to give you some volume.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I always ask my clients, what do you want? Do you want drama or natural? That's how I know. So if you want drama, you want the 4D mascara.
And here again, we're going to go back to, with a mask wearing, you might as well give your lashes a little bit more of a kick.
Right. So one of the things that I always tell people, like tricks, you never want to pump your mascara because it dries it out.
Right.
And something that you want to do is you want to sweep in, sweep up, and sweep out. And you just kind of, I'm a blinker, unfortunately. Most people, people do it like this. I'm a blinker. I don't know how it started. It just did. So. And then you have to do your mascara face or it doesn't count. And it's so funny because people are like, Jen, how do you not make mistakes? I'm like, I make mistakes all the time. I was like, this is the best erasers in the world. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I got it under my eye.
Yeah.
So then I do the top. You sweep in, you sweep up, you sweep out. You try to touch all the little baby hairs. I'm like, this mirror is new, so I'm like wondering how it looks on the camera. I'm like, how are we doing here?
You're doing really good. It's awesome. I can totally tell that people are just gonna get exactly what you're showing them.
Okay, good. And then of course, if you want more, you can do a double coat. You don't have to. The other thing too is, like, if I want to go to the pool, I live in Las Vegas now. If I want to go to the pool and I still want drama, then I take I don't wear waterproof every day, but like if I'm going to the pool, I might put this on and then put a coat of waterproof on over it.
Like right over it?
Yep. And it works just fine.
Yeah. Which is good. It's good to coat your lashes with I would say like the primary one, and your waterproof be like your secondary.
Exactly. So then let's just go with a fun little, let's just go with a nice, this is really fun. This is like a crush lipstick. It's powder and it stays on, but I don't know if you can see that, but it's like powder, and it just dabs on.
That's really different.
But what you do, and it just turns into a lipstick.
So what is that particular one called, that lipstick
This is called Crushed, and this one's called Contrite.
That's a good color, Jen.
Yeah, it's just a nice,
I mean, like for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Simple,
that's really pretty.
Nude, light. It's not going to go everywhere on my mask,
Yeah, that's really super nice.
It's just a nice neutral color. And it matches, I mean, it doesn't necessarily match. I got a little fuzz right there. It doesn't it complements the brown, you know what I mean? Or the plum here, and so that it's not too much.
Yeah, it's a really soft look, Jen. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe what you could do is just text me or email me, everything you use today, color-wise,
Okay.
and all of that. And I will include that so everybody knows what Jen used as far as color. And then, Jen, send me your link to ordering.
All right.
And I'll make sure that everybody gets that information as well, too.
Well, thank you.
So any last minute thoughts, about just natural makeup in the company or anything?
My biggest thing for real is confidence is the most beautiful thing a woman can wear. It has nothing to do with makeup. It has nothing to do, nobody needs makeup.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. I don't think, I'm not a believer that anybody needs makeup at all to feel beautiful, to live in their confidence, to be who they are. Nobody needs it. I like it because it's art. And if I can elevate people's confidence a little bit because they're feeling pretty, then that's what it's for. But nobody needs it. And I'm never going to push it down anybody's throat, you know what I mean? And say, you have to do it like this. And the other thing is, I don't believe in the makeup police. Like, if you want to wear bright blue shadow, you know what I mean? And you want to like have racing stripes on your cheek, then God bless you. I love you. And you be the fabulous you that you are, So
yes.
I'm like, I love it.
And I'm glad you're sharing that, because I kind of feel right now, again, we're going to kind of go back to what is happening in the world right now. And I really feel like a lot of people are struggling. Therefore, they're losing their confidence because they feel everything feels uncertain to them. And when that is happening around it, unfortunately, that shows up not just in a family, but it shows up in a personal way as well, too.
Well, when people tell you that they haven't worn makeup in a week, a month, but they're feeling kind of poopy, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, then you need to get dressed.
Yes.
I mean, I hate to say it, I'm like, you got to get dressed. You got to do your hair. You got to put some clothes on, like other things than yoga pants and like pretend like you're going to work, put your face on. And even if you're home, I promise you'll feel better.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that's true. People are just kind of like letting go, and it's showing up emotionally for them.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but like I said, nobody needs it, but it certainly is fun.
Amen to that.
It's fun.
We girls have to keep each other up and let each other know, hey, come on now, just like you said.
Me and you, that's a party. It's a party of two. You know what I mean? That's all you need. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love you. Thank you for your time. And I know
you're welcome.
The girls are going to love it.
Awesome.
And they are going to really appreciate just that little bit of a nudge of, don't be scared. This is easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. So
it doesn't have to be hard.
Thank you so much. And I'll look forward to the information, and I'll make sure that everybody gets it. So
absolutely.
Talk to you soon, my dear.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Love you.
Love you. See you later.